Well, you're mostly going to spend your day working on the study guide, which means we need to not do as many semester exam study guide problems as we had originally planned, so that way you can have plenty of time to work on your study guide for your test tomorrow. Also, another reminder that tomorrow is the day that if you've not done the math workshop test or completing the squares, you need to get that handled as soon as possible, unless you can always fix the zero. Knowing me, I'm going to have the zero in tomorrow. Right, some point in life. So, just FYI. There were some in here that I recall did a completely, no offense, but crappy job on completing square quadratic formula quiz. I think I left you in my incomplete thing. I think I'm going to give you like a 50. I'll give you like a 25 out of 50, so you get 50. But if you know that was you because you did not, anyway, I'll change it to that. And those who made lower than that, I'm going to bump up to that number at least. Yeah, not really. The completing the square quiz. Some people did a terrible job, so we're gonna give them the 25 out of 50, so they're at a 50. Okay. So we're just gonna do a couple of these, and then you've got your study I had to work on. And I'm gonna go ahead and post the key to that when I get done. When we get done going over a couple of these, that way you can go ahead and make sure you're on the right track with your other study guide. Okay. As for today with the semester exam study guide, we are starting on number 47. It is another system of equations. We've got to figure out which of these equations is represented with this graph. Any suggestions on how to do so? There's an easy way and a hard way. I'm probably going to... Okay, well, the hard way would be to put it in y equals mx plus b. All four equations, all four answer choices, their bottom equations look similar. So I'm going to start with that. If I rearrange this equation, for instance, so a used to be x minus y equals negative 2. If I subtract x from both sides, and I change everyone's sign, I end up getting y equals x plus 2. B, the second equation, is the exact same thing, so I would also end up with y equals x plus 2. C and D are technically different. C is x minus y, instead of equaling negative 2 equals positive 2. So when I rearrange it, I get negative y equals negative x plus 2. I change people's signs. I end up with y equals x minus 2. And the same thing goes for D. So really the first question we should ask ourselves is when we look at this coordinate plane, do one of these graphs have an intercept at positive 2, or do one of these lines have an intercept at negative 2? Looking at my graph, negative 2 we're not hitting, we are hitting positive 2. There is a line crossing through positive 2. So it's either going to be A or B. So it's not C, it's not D. And then I can rearrange A, the top equation, and B, the top equation in my head pretty quickly. So that we know this line is the y equals x plus 2. The other line is at y equals 1/3 x or y equals 3x based off its slope. So I get my intercept to 0, but did I go up 1 over 3 or up 3 over 1? I know my intercept was 0. What was my slope? So my slope is 3, so it's B. Bless you, 1 and 2. You can have a point. That was like pulling teeth, people. That's a little disturbing. There is a way faster way to work this problem. The solution, 1, 3, where those two lines cross, should also be a solution to both equations. I'm going to cheat since I know the answer is B. So the top equation was y minus 3x equals 0. If I plug in 3 for y, 1 for x, I end up getting 3 minus 3. Well, that's true. 0 does equal 0. As for the second equation, it was x minus y equals negative 2. If I plug in a 3 and a 1, and I plug them in the right spots, that would help. 1 minus 3, does that equal negative 2? And yes, it does. Negative 2 does equal negative 2. If you plugged in the answer into all the equations, that's one way that would be, to me, faster to figure out the answer. Please, God, don't let 48 take this one. Please tell me someone knows the answer to 48. God bless you, Dre. You can have 2 points. Can you tell me how you got that? That's what I wanted to hear. Bless you. Which answer was dumb? B. D is dumb. We've never seen inconsistent and then the word dependent. We've done consistent, independent, and independent. We've never had that as an answer choice. Why would you select that one? Now, Drea took the easy way. Let's do it the hard way. We'll explain her way in a second. 2x plus 3y equals 10. Well, there's multiple ways. We did lots of things with systems. You could do substitution, you could do elimination, you could do graphing. I'm going to put it in y equals mx plus b because that's what most people are going to do. So 3y equals negative 2x plus 10. Y equals negative 2/3 x plus 10/3. For my top equation. For my bottom equation, 4x plus 6y equals 20. That would be 6y equals negative 4x plus 20. When I divide everybody by 6, I'm actually going to need to reduce those fractions. 4 over 6 reduces to 2/3. 20 over 6 reduces to 10/3. And lo and behold, I have the exact same two equations, which means they must be the graph of the same line, hence consistent and dependent. And while that's great, and that is the answer, you could also come up with the answer using substitution or elimination. Drea is correct, and she didn't actually have to show any math on her paper. She realized that if these are our two original equations, if you took that top equation and multiplied by 2, you would have 4x plus 6y equals 20. Hey, then they're the exact same equations. She realized the two equations were multiples of one another, so they're really the same equation, so they're really the same line, hence how she guessed C so quickly and didn't have to show any work at all. So that's genius. If you recognize that, go for it. Number 49. 49. It is A. You can have 2 points rating. 49 is A. The easiest way I think to handle that one, again, I think it's easiest just to find where that point is that they cross. They crossed at 4, 1. So let's plug in 4, 1. So in my top equation on A, 4 plus 1, does that equal 5? Well, yeah, that's true. 4 plus 1 equals 5. That's still true. 4 minus 1 is 3. That's not equal to 5, so C's out. Same logic. 4 minus 1 is 3, not 5. So D's out. So it was either A or B, and all I did was plug in 4 and 1 for X and Y. Now I'm going to go plug it into the bottom equations. 4 minus 2 times 1. Well, that's 2 equal to 2. That's true, so it had to be A. But if we're questioning Brady, we can plug it in the second one as well. 4 plus 2 times 1. Does that equal 2? Well, no. 6 doesn't equal 2. So it's definitely not B. The only one that made both statements true when that answer choice of 4, 1 was A. I was wondering how the semester exam was going to force you into doing substitution and elimination, because you would think you could get away with just graphing everything. But then I read number 50, and I was really excited because it forces you to recall how to do substitution. It says the first equation is multiplied by 3. What number would you multiply the second equation to eliminate the x variable by adding? And I'm going to give a point to 4 and 6. So Lyric is right and wrong. And Drea is completely right. It's -2. And let me remind Lyric as to why. So it's 12x something in the top equation. The bottom equation, if it's still a 12x, they're not actually going to be eliminated. We need the bottom equation to be the opposite side so that the x's really will die. But you can see why they put +2 as one of the answer choices, because they knew you would be really excited, and you knew what number. But you got to be careful, because we need them to be opposite signs so they will cancel out. Any questions about 50? I really like that one. 51 is going to force us to do substitution. Anyone know the answer to 51 before I ruin it? Yes, dear. It is B. You can have 2 points. Okay, so 51, they give us the equation 3x minus y equals 5. They ask, and they give us the second equation as well, and then they say which expression could be substituted in for y into the second equation, which means, hey, solve the first equation for y. That's the variable you would have solved for anyway, because it was the one that was most alone. Change everyone's sign, so you get y equals 3x minus 5, so the answer really is B. And as a reminder, if we were going to continue with this problem and actually get the solution, we would take what we got for y, and everywhere in the second equation that we saw a y, we would instead put 3x minus 5. Okay, the next one is a word problem, and the only thing that stinks about it is that they did pencils and pens, so I can't pick P because P will just work for everybody. So I'm going to do pencils as X and pens as Y. If you want to do pencils as P and pens as E, or I don't care. I'm just going to do X and Y to be lazy. Okay, so Sonia purchased 5 pencils and 2 pens for $5.10. Wade purchased 8 of the same type of pencil and 6 of the same type of pen and spent $13.20. And then they asked, what is the cost of 2 pencils and 1 pen? What would be the easiest method to choose to solve this system? We're going to use elimination, substitution, or graphing. It's set up for elimination. What number, if I wanted to kill off positive or negative? It needs to be -3. So if we multiply that top equation by -3, we will have -15x minus 6y equals, I think, 1530, but math's not, easy math is where I get no wrong sometimes. Yes, bless you. Thank you, Brady. Okay, I know I've set it up correctly because a variable dies. -6y, positive 6y, it cancels out. -15 plus 8 is -7, so I have -7x equals, I need to know what -1530 plus 1320 is. And then I'm really excited about that because 21, 7 goes into 21 pretty nicely. Okay, so we need to divide -210 by -7, and we end up getting x equals point something. I think 30. So that means the cost of a pencil is 30 cents. Pencil costs 30 cents. Sadly, we still need to know what the cost is for pens, so we can pick either equation and plug it in. I'll pick the top one. It really doesn't matter. I know x really is 30 cents, so I'm going to plug in 30 cents. I think I get 150 plus 2y equals 510. So 2y equals something. whatever 510 minus $1.50 is. And then I need to divide by 2, and I end up getting 180. So that just doesn't seem right in life, but we're going to roll with it because we can handle it. It doesn't seem right that we're only paying 30 cents for a pencil. We're paying almost $2 for a pen, but maybe it's a really fancy pen like my Flair pens. I'd pay about $1. I'd pay about $2 each. I really would sometimes. These are the nice pens. Okay, but they asked the cost of 2 pencils and 1 pen. Well, 2 pencils would be 2 times 30 cents, so that's going to be 60 cents. Plus the 1 pen of $1.80, so I need to know 60 cents plus $1.80. That is which of my answer choices? D. You can have your point, ma'am. It is D. I know we were going to keep going, but we're going to call it a day on the semester exam review there. The notes we've been working on the very, very back page of the notes is where your study guide lives. Abby Grace, have you started your study guide? Perfect, we hand it here. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is what you have the rest of the period to work on. When I get done rambling, I'm even going to go ahead and post the key to it so you can check yourself. I'm most concerned about 1 through 4. I'm especially concerned specifically because completing the square is not your fault. That's the section you seem to tune out on for some reason. The problem in 1 through 4 that I'm most concerned with is number 3, because that leading coefficient is not a 1. So it requires a little extra work, and we're going to be in fraction land. Good thing it ends up being some nice perfect squares like 49 and 16. I think 5 through 8 should be the easiest, but you have to put it in standard form first. So if it's not, all the stuff on one side, numbers on the other, all the stuff on one side, 0 on the other, quadratic formula is never going to work. I'm not going to give you this formula tomorrow, so if you've still not committed this to memory, oh my goodness, you're missing out on some really easy points. So 5 through 8 should be easy. 9 through 12 are still dealing with a quadratic formula. I can say words, I can. It's specifically talking about a piece of the quadratic formula that's called the discriminant. Where in the quadratic formula do I see the discriminant? It's the part on the radical. 3 get a point. B squared minus 4ac. That's the discriminant. And we talked about, and you had this in your notes, but I'll give you a brief, quick reminder. If it ended up being a positive number under the discriminant, you knew you had 2 real roots. If it ended up being a 0 under the discriminant, you had 1 real root. And if you were in that sad, terrible world where it ended up being a negative number and you had to start using imaginaries, we don't have any real roots. That it's better for you to say we have 2 complex roots because, the imaginary numbers, complex numbers, that either will suffice. So 9 through 12, you don't even have to use the full-out formula. All you have to do is calculate the b squared minus 4ac. And depending on whether it's positive, negative, or 0, is how you describe the type of roots. 13 on should make you happy because that's what we've been working on the past 3 days. You got to put it in vertex form. You got this. You still got to identify the axis of symmetry, the direction, and it wouldn't hurt you to include shape. You know good and well that I'm going to just make you do the list tomorrow of vertex, axis of symmetry, shape, and direction, the way we've been doing it the past 3 days. You're not surprised to hear this. So even though it doesn't ask for it, would it just be okay to still stay in this habit of listing the 4 things? Yeah, that would be great. In fact, if you listed the 4 things, you wouldn't even have to do 22 through 25, because 22 through 25 is really like, hey, make your list. Describe. Well, if you went ahead and did it, you'd save yourself some worry. So again, it looks, I'm not saying it's not a lot of problems, but it won't take you that long. You're smart. However, 1 through 4 are the where life's going to go wrong. I know you can do quadratic formula. I know you like the vertex form. The only thing that you're going to mess up on is completing the Slayer. So I would go ahead and be brave and tackle those 4 first. Are there any questions about the study guide? If you need help, gladly ask me. I'm going to move your group to a 5 pending as long as you're working on math.